It's not as sunny in London as it is in Australia for Ange Postecoglou and his Tottenham team. Currently in the bottom half of the Premier League, massive pressure on the man who said his team will win a trophy this year, only left in the Europa League, smashed in the Carabao semis, out of the FA Cup, and now all the pressure and finances are on the Europa, as today we imagine Tottenham did go trophyless this season, leading all their best players, just like Kane did, to leave the club, as they are bankrupt, no money, nobody over 70 rated, and worst of all, I've gone ahead and relegated them to League Two of England. As yes, people, here we are with Tottenham Hotspur. It's the relegate and rebuild. You guys know what this series is all about. As this team, though, really good players we've kept. The likes of Ashley Phillips, the likes of Alfie Devine. Son's gone, Kulusevski's gone, but yes, there's some really good players. Mickey Moore, prime example, only 16-year-old still. However, a lot of goalkeepers to choose from, not many defenders at all. And this rebuild goes the way of the previous ones, with the rule of the real-life players currently at the club, these under 70 rated, cannot leave the club and must be part of our journey back to the Champions League, as that's the aim. We need to win it all the way from Season 2, as we actually don't have a budget and we can't sell the real life players, so we have got to get this team working. We've got a few players experienced here, like Abbott. He's actually at Notts County in real life, so that's experience. We also have this man Lancashire, who's now on loan at West Brom, but did get a goal in the Europa League. And Donnelly, if you don't know him, get to know him, because in the FA Cup, on loan at Leyton Orient, he did go ahead and score from the halfway line against Man City, as we've got 3 goalkeepers. Another one who's actually scored this season, Keeley. Yes, a goalkeeper. He went and scored for Leyton Orient, I'm sure. But we've also got Brandon Austin actually playing for the team in real life, and Alfie Whiteman, 25. So we've got 3 keepers we must keep here, making it difficult because we actually had 5 altogether, and I'm hoping we can get promoted. Right, we've got to sort this team out, starting with wing play. As a tactic, as no coaches, despite me really wanting it for the youngsters, we can't afford to pay it because we don't have many money in the bank. And I haven't actually put a graphic up, but no, we can't spend over 10 million whilst we're outside of the Premier League. So the transfers outside of the Prem will be pretty limited, as contract-wise as well. The only way we get rid of real players is release clauses or their contracts expiring, like Whiteman, so we might lose him, giving Keeley a chance, as he's the goalie I want to use, only 21 years of age. As we've got youth all around the squad, I promoted a few from the academy to make up the numbers. Zalewski, a Polishman, he's going to train as a centre-back. Dexter Bell as a right-back, because we have 2 left-backs here. Sam Gale as the other one, as I'm going to start with a 4-3-3 attack. As Dane Scarlett on the left, an attacking midfielder in Donnelly sitting in centre mid, with Lancashire starting Season 1 as our striker. And a lot of position swapping going on, but this is the team come end of the season. I opted for Alfie Devine in the cam role over Donnelly, who now is a centre mid, and at centre mid still the potential to be special. Dane Scarlett is now our winger, and Mickey Moore is now our right-hand sided player. 70 rated, not bad at all, but one player we miss is Veliz, the striker who got sent out on loan in real life, I think 2 seasons in a row now, leaving us with Will Lancashire, who's not very good rating wise and only 9 goals. Scarlett had to do most from the left hand side, grabbing most goals, and this is a shambles of a season. Not getting out of League Two at the first opportunity. We're not even in the top 8. As it's 10th, we finished 10th. -1 goal difference tells me we're not scoring enough goals, and we're also leaking some in our defense. With a lot of position changes going on, our goalkeeper's definitely all right. We definitely need a centre-back and probably just a striker for promotion, as that's got to be the aim of next season, where hopefully we get a budget, as going far in the cups would get us money. Round 3 against Stevenage we lost, then lost on penalties to Harrogate in round 1 of the Carabao Cup this season, and lost on penalties to Bradford in the BSM. Bradford doing really well in real life, didn't make the playoffs, as only the semi-finals have been played so far. Hoping my club Grimsby Town get there in real life, but we're focusing on Spurs. As a shameful first season really, but you know what isn't shameful? If we could hit 50,000 subscribers, on the road to that, and also leave a like, as likes help us grow the budget. And I tell you what, I'd like that middle number, 104 million, but it's just the 3 we've got for now. And like I said, we need a centre-back, we also need a striker, but do we use the academy this year? Because we have used that a little bit. Well, not used it exactly. We promoted a few players like Hawkins, Dunn, Gibbs, Hunt and Evans. They were from this original academy that just started. No players in it now, and we do have a 5-star scout, but for this season, I'm not going to use him just because I'd rather get the main positions we need and also contracts this season. We did have a player leave. Whiteman walked out last year as only one player needs a new contract, and Josh Keeley, I will give him one because he's only 22-year-old. Goalkeeper we covered in, as now we've paid that out, the current budget sits at 3.3 to be exact. And one thing we saw last year was MK Dons win this league, a team I'm not a fan of, but I know Dele Alli used to play there. That's where Tottenham got him from, so to continue on that pattern, although they're now in League One, would be a good thing to do. Yes, they won our league, but we should have a bit of pulling power. As Lawrence Maguire in the squad, of course, that is the brother of Harry Maguire, who I get told I look like sometimes. Not a defender I really want here, but maybe an attacker. Callum Hendry could do for now. 27, really cheap. I'd rather put my money into a centre-back, prioritise that role for now, get a striker later in the save, who we can keep for a longer time, but we do have Lancashire who can train, and this man for now should just get us out of this league. Just give us a helping hand, please. Then maybe Lancashire could get his place back as centre-back, because we need to move Zeliski to the bench. Although I'm a big fan of Ange, we definitely need defenders here. And I might shop in the league above again, because we have the pulling power. We need a centre-back who can grow, and this man's doing all right at Wrexham. So please welcome in this man called Max Cleworth, the best name in the world, from the Red Dragons. Who even had a player face, by the way. We've got a player face for a Wrexham player before we actually got one from Van Nistelrooy, a Premier League manager, and Ruben Amorim, the Manchester United boss. But less about that because we stormed the league. 106 points, best team in the division, 48 goal difference. No one was actually touching us. And now it's to League One as the FA Cup. We did reach round 3. Again, hopefully some money. As the Carabao, we beat Crystal Palace on our road to the quarterfinals, where we lost to Ipswich Town. But that should be some cash for Tottenham Hotspur, who usually don't have it, as we lost on penalties in the BSM to Crawley, but I do not care. We've got another shot at this trophy in the league above, in League One next year. With this team playing wing play, I've actually ended it towards the end of the season, as we've got 70s doing well in Phillips, Divine 72, Scarlett at a 70 rated, and then we've got Mikey Moore, who's 73, only 18 years old. He's the player I want to become special, as we've got a few with the potential to be special, including a new regen, Dexter Bell, who can play anywhere at the back. A very useful man, a utility man, as do we need a new striker? As Callum Henry, who we signed, 32 goals in the league. Not to mention back-to-back promotions for that man. He's an incredible striker, leaving Lancashire in the mud and 8 million in our back pocket. Now we are in the division above, and we kind of need another midfielder, I'd say. Maybe another left back, maybe another striker behind Henry, as the bench is looking quite bleak. I mean, we haven't focused on it really. I'd like to get some real-life players on here, maybe a real-life winger, a real-life fullback, as my aim is actually not to get promoted straight from this division. Of course, we do want to try and do that, but I'm going to take my time in League One, utilize this 5-star scout, which we haven't put to work, and try and craft maybe the next Kane. Go ahead and find an English striker to replace Henry in the future, and it might save us a bit of money. This year, as here's the players we have found, some decent ratings, as all of these attacking players, and we can get these out on loan to see who will be the mighty one to take over the mighty Callum Henry, who finally gets his chance at this level as £6 million still to spend on players, and we actually might go for promotion. Then again, a lot of players out of contract, and I'd rather keep this team together. Try and grow this squad, as I'm going to put Green onto the bench, use Lancashire for a loan, and then the others you do see in these reserve positions as first team. Yes, a left back, and then maybe just a central midfielder. If we do have the money left, only a left back really needed. And I want to go kind of young, kind of imitate Udogie, or Udogie, whatever you want to call him, as we do have Thierry scary small ex-Southampton, and a left-back at only 21 goes straight into the squad. However, did cost 3 million, so that's a lot, and probably counts us out another player. I'll go and trust George Abbott as 2 million, and I know where that's going. Still a lot of young players here, despite wanting to loan most of them out. So I've gone and picked up some coaches to hopefully help them grow and steadily take this team up the divisions until we reach the UCL. And we'll see if those worked in a minute, as yes, it's the position we kind of expected. 1 goal difference, 66 goals scored, a lot of goals conceded, but 10th in League One. Is that a sign we need a defender or maybe a goalkeeper now, because Keeley's not in the squad, and Huddersfield win our league. Did finish above Wrexham, as Forest are a different FA Cup winner. It's usually been Liverpool, as only round 2 this year. As Liverpool win the Carabao, we lost to Northampton in an early round as round 3 exit in the BSM trophy. I'm honestly wanting to win this competition now. In the final, I mean Morecambe, they are so low down in League Two. Money troubles themselves in real life, but managed to do it over Wimbledon. But how? How are we not reaching far? With this team we've built, we've got 75 rated and a 76, 2 of them in EFL League One. Not reaching the championship with this squad is criminal, and we've also got a striker, Will Lancashire at St Mirren. He's gone to Scotland and performed. That is what we needed from him. So we do have a Hendry replacement, despite him scoring 17 goals. And we've also got other players out on loan doing well, like Alfie Holt, Reece Tyler, and also Arthur Heath. Definitely bench worthy. Who could make a run for this team next year as also our backup left back. Now 70 rated, so it proves how good this team really is. And Keeley could go into the lineup. He's 24 now, 69 rated. Sorry, this is our starting team. Now Lancashire goes up front, only 22-year-old. This is absolutely marvellous. You could also make an argument for the midfielders getting replaced, both 72 rated and £8 million this year. We could go back to the academy, but with that many players already promoted, I think we're better off putting our money to better use. Getting some good real-life youngsters like we did in our last save, and like Spurs have done in real life, as let's check how they're doing. Archie Gray is 80 rated at Betis, 21-year-old. Dragerson now 25, he's at Le Havre. And a doggy is at Roma back in Italy, 86 rated. We've already signed a player like him, as now we need to go goalkeeper. I want to go the next Hugo Lloris, so I do want to kind of look for a Frenchman. Will be hard to sign from outside of England though, and I don't want to go free agent. Maybe there's something in our league, as I don't think we've signed from the league above just yet, as Torsten Vogt, a German, who looks pretty darn decent, but he's not as good as Keeley. Yes, 4 years younger, but only 6'2" as well. Maybe we have to look up now towards the championship. As here's a really good keeper, Denise Delman at Oxford. Oh, but he's on loan from Monaco. He looks so good, and I wouldn't mind signing from a lower team in the championship, which seems realistic. We are really gunning for promotion. I think we'll be one of the favourites. So maybe Etienne Green. He isn't the first choice at Burnley. Yes, 26-year-old, but he's a really good gamble. Oh my days, another player we can't sign. This man's just unwilling to relocate. And same with our second choice, Tommy Simkin. Really can't sign a player. So do we trust our goalkeeper? But that's the only position I really want to change. So I'm getting confused who we sign. Maybe have to change to midfielder and trust our goalkeeper, as Wigan are in League Two with some decent players, even the likes of Dion Rankine over at Wigan. Jensen Weir we can take, so I'm going to do some bidding here. Wigan might get robbed, but they shouldn't go that low in the divisions. Their own faults, no offense, not their fault in real life, of course. They're struggling, but firstly, I'm going to steal Jensen Weir, then Dion Rankine for exactly the same price for a backup, and finally, being youth-focused, I'm going to go for James Carragher, the son of Liverpool legend, Jamie Carragher. If he turns anything out like his dad, we have got a player on our hands as second in League Two, Wigan Athletic. Not us. We've progressed past that point, but I really feel good we haven't doomed them. And Wigan march on, but this is all about ourselves. As we hammer our way through League One, it is 2 titles out of 2 on the promotion front. And yes, Sheffield Wednesday in here, Barnsley, Bolton, Plymouth. But it's Spurs taking the trophy, or should I say Spurs' academy. However, no trophy to go with it. A round of 13 loss to Peterborough, a team in our division. Then Thierry Small's old team, Charlton, beat us in the Carabao. And I swear this BSM trophy cannot be won when your team is fighting for promotion. It must prioritise all these bench players, give them game time in them competitions, which we're not overly bothered about. We've got a good bench, but the first team, this is a league below where it initially should be. The likes of Bell and Phillip should be in the Premier League even, which is what we aim for next year. I want to dance through this championship. We didn't spend all our money, and we do have a lot of players over 75 rated who are young, and the championship we usually get stuck on. Our top scorer, though, wasn't the striker. It was Dane Scarlett, and Henry still going strong. But he is 30 years of age, so do we go goalkeeper or do we go another striker? Whatever we choose, we definitely have the money for it, because starting on the budget again, £12 million this year to improve this squad you just saw, and I think I will go goalkeeper. There's Cleworth I haven't talked about, only 75 overall, but we do have him at the moment doing okay. We've got Abbott 22, Donley's going to stay in, a left footer in centre mid. I love how many real life Spurs players we've actually kept in this team, and I know we can't get rid of them, but we haven't even tried to bench any of them. As speaking of the bench, we don't have anyone behind Dane Scarlett apart from Elliot Gibbs, 65 rated, a little bit left behind. And now we can actually sign from all the leagues around the world. Now we're in the championship, we're not stuck to League One and League Two. However, contracts expiring every 2 years or so. And being a championship side, you can tell they're going to get more expensive, leaving us with £9 million now. So yes, we've took a hammer in, and I might go all out with that money on one signing. Then again, there is free agents, and with these saves going forward, I'm going to limit myself to 1 when using a real life Premier League team. And let's be honest, it will be easy with a lot of free agents, as I've mentioned MK Dons and mentioned a player that was there and bought from Spurs, but he has been released at 32 by Como. Dele Alli available, and I think I've got to do this one. Our free agent exception is going to be Dele, and he signed a 3-year deal and got a hefty wage out of us. Could play in that midfield over Abbott for the experience. Not for very long though, as £8 million for a goalkeeper now. Usually the cheapest position when you go for an oldie goldie, but I want someone experienced to grow. And Martinelli, Italian like Vicario, 6'5", under 10 million. He had to be the choice, and the choice he is. Looks a class keeper, but still, we're a class below Leicester City in the championship. It's promotion, but without a trophy. We do not keep going with the titles, as we do not go far in the FA Cup. Our founders losing to Brighton in round 3 and cups this year. On FC25, I've been terrible at going far, as look at that result in the Carabao final. The rivals 5-5 with Ipswich in the finale, as we lose a lot of games on penalties. That time it was to Cardiff, as now we go to the Premier League, and Martinelli not played, the amazing keeper we just brought in. We have a growing Dele Alli, Lancashire, Moore and Scarlett. Now they're all over 80, all below 26 years of age, as is the majority of the squad. And look at that, we've got a regen top of the ratings, meaning he'll just keep on growing. Can we try go for Europa next year? I mean, I'm not going to rush it, but now we can actually sign players for over 10 million. As our top scorer, Dane Scarlett, our second top scorer, Micky Moore, then Lancashire, then Henry. It might be another season of working on the bench, but Divine could he contribute more goals next season? As this year an extended bench, I do love it when this occurs. Yes, it means we need more players, and Devine is almost 80 rated, but I will swap him out. Only a bench player to start off with. I want a cam, and then maybe another centre-back. As Cleworth left behind a bit, and I'm slightly nervous about the Premier League, I thought we'd get our full budget back, but still it's half of what it says in the middle. 66 million, who can go onto any player, as we've got a lot running out of contract. Still a lot of young players at the squad. Our oldest at the moment is obviously Dele Alli, then Henry, then Austin, the only old player we started off with, as his goalkeeper a position again, because they're having struggles in real life. And we do have 3 decent ones, Keeley and Martinelli, to battle it out. For game time, as yes, we definitely need a centre-back. Looking positionally, Max Cleworth, despite having the best first name, is not what I want. I mean, Wrexham can have him back if they want him. As I want to go abroad, I want to look niche now. Still look for some good hidden players, as I'm going to prioritise centre-back over Cam just for now, and we don't have a left footer. Otavio now. This would take our defence all over 80 and really step it up. But he's too important to Benfica. So to the second best option now. Esteve from Cagliari, another left footer, and another very decent rating. This guy's called Esteve, and his first name is Maxime. As if you're gonna get rid of a Max, you've got to replace him with another Max. That's a rule going forward on the channel, as £24 million is left. Not very much at all to go and find that new cam we wanted. We could try Dele Alli there, but I think he's a little bit past changing positions. Although maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but he is in the decline stage. And I've found the player I want, but it's going to be very hard to try and pick him up. Isaac Babardi. Now, he's actually playing in the Eredivisie, so should require a small wage. Oh my days, I clicked buttons too quick. We're 18 million euros or pounds to buy him straight up is fantastic. So without further ado, we've replaced Devine with a player 1 rating above, 24-year-old, keeping our squad still young, as this is what we're rocking with now. And if you've watched the channel for a while now, you know I like to prepare for the Prem. I don't like to rush into it and just try and avoid relegation. I like to build my teams up in the Championship or even in League One, and this is why I do it, because first season Champions League football, only 68 points guarantees us in that competition, which I just can't believe we've got into, because we still not fighting in the cups. A penalty loss to Swansea and a penalty loss to Burnley in the Carabao Cup is not good enough. As look at the final, all Yorkshire teams. Where I am from, up the Yorkshire, as look at this team right here. Right now we've got some choices to make. The attack looks spotless, apart from Lancashire, who is good, but he's not as good as Mickey Moore on the right-hand side, Scarlett on the left-hand side, and Maxime, our best player. I'd hope he was anyway, because of the money we spent on this guy. Still, he's 28, so in his prime, when Ashley Phillips isn't yet. He's only 24. We've got Small, who's 25. No problem about the squad age. Only where the squad's gonna go, as yes, Lancashire did get 17. Good return for him, but Dane Scarlett with 22. A player that did get a game for Spurs recently, I believe, against Ipswich. As I want to sign a player who didn't really get a game for Tottenham. Question is, will we afford him? Because now we're into the Champions League, and the budget's higher than last year's projected one, and I don't doubt why. UCL football with these lads, but like I did say, I would like a new striker, but then we've got to think about the midfield. Arbot is now 24, did well at Notts County, or is doing well over there, but in the Premier League, not just that. And same with Donley, because he's only 1 rating higher, but a year older. And Devine, who's on the bench, we could try and change him centrally, as we could do with filling in those positions, and then obviously a bench striker, which hopefully Lancashire will be, but there's a good lad who's been out of Spurs for a while now, when he has tried to make a name for himself over at Alkmaar, but I thought he would be better. Troy Parrott hasn't lived up to it, so we can't go for him. him, we've got to try and think of another striker on the fly. Maybe we head to another player who's played for Spurs before or is playing for Spurs. Matthias Tell is on loan, and it might cost a bit to get him from Inter, who are a Champions League team, but Ange convinced him to Spurs, so hopefully we can do the same. We've got a Frenchman in our backline, so he might have helped convince Tell to come back, and this is a huge statement of intent, and he's the same age as most of our players here at the squad, as I probably should put training drills on. That's my fault. We do have coaches in the meantime to train players up, as Alfie Divine 36 weeks. I think with the remainder of money, I'm going to leave him, go for a different mid, look for someone who's not been at the club before, because we've only really signed Dele Alli in that position, and a player that did support Tottenham from young, Alex Scott, the midfielder who can play everywhere. Once hyped up when at Bristol City as one of the next big England players, and he will join us on our hunt for the Champions League trophy with Spurs. Hopefully this man makes us to winners, as the rest of the team look like them. Look at some of the ratings. We've got a brilliant attack right now, with Lancashire still on the bench. I do love the man, but he just didn't fit over what Tell is, as Donnelly looks the weakest link. But that defence, with the rocks of Phillips and Esteve, genuinely look like they could win the Champions League. Mickey Moore on one wing, Babadi supporting Matthias Tell. Let's go for that UCL. Have we gone and won it this season though? Or do we have to keep going? As I can't believe it, Lancashire scored loads. He's genuinely scored the 8th most. He scored more than Bukayo Saka, as Dane Scarlett's the 3rd top scorer, only 2 behind ex-player Kulusevski. But Brighton down in 7th, as Spurs, we've turned losses into wins, stormed the Premier League, and finally get a trophy that isn't just one of them stupid League 1 or League 2 promotion ones. Don't get me wrong, as a Grimsby fan, I'd love a promotion trophy. Down in League 2 is we reached a semi-final, but beaten by Scott's old team. Bournemouth, and then a quarter-final in the Carabao, so we've done a lot better. But them true trophies don't matter anymore. We've got one that does, the Champions League title. As after doing so well in the Premier League, it looks like all our effort went in there. Winning one game and finishing 28th with Liverpool. Down in 29th, we've got Ajax, Benfica and Leverkusen missing out. And in the final, Lazio against Atleti. Now that is a surprise. Now that is a surprise for the Bucks. I mean, Lazio can't be as good as this team that we have built. Get Abbott out, get a quality centre mid in, and we genuinely stand a chance at going for the UCL title. No jokes about it, but the budget's gone down to 68 million, and the rule still stands. We cannot sell any original players, so Phillips and more if we wanted more money. Pardon the pun, but we couldn't sell them. Maybe we could sell Dexter Bell. Then again, he's a youth player that's been here from the start. I don't want rid of. So yes, we've got to find a midfielder, as unfortunately Dele Alli retired, leaving us needing one. Do we go to a different league? Although Crystal Palace relegated to the Championship, but their centre mids, none of them really good enough. We need someone who goes above and beyond, as maybe out of a centre mid position, maybe we look for a DM, and that could be perfect. But then again, Doucouré only one rating higher than Abbott, but he is from the same country as Basuma. So it would have been nice to get the link up, as Basuma's gone ahead and retired, as I'm getting tired of just searching for a player that might not work. But Ezekiel Banzuzi, we could afford the 26-year-old. Babadi and Banzuzi, pray for me in the Champions League final if the two players reach it, because I will never be able to say their names together. However, I'll risk it for a biscuit. I'll just settle on an 84 rated, as there he goes into the team, and it kind of does look complete, but ranking on the bench, again, he's come all the way from Wigan, like Carragher has, definitely not living up to his dad's expectations. And Jensen Weir, 29-year-old. I don't like our Wigan signings. Struggle to make an impact despite not being made for this level. As speaking of being at this level, I know we really did well last year, but in order to keep people thinking, I have gone ahead and changed the tactics up now. In homage to Ange, who, to be fair, is still the manager, we're going to go attacking with every single player on the field, which seems to have worked, I guess. Gonna play or not playing. Banzuzi, maybe injured. He has gone up to an 85 rating. Not as good as the other midfielders, as Divine's the one who's got game time. As let's slot him into that team. Maybe it's played him because he's more attacking. And he's an OG. Wouldn't blame the game for doing it, as these are the best players. A 4, least of 90 rated, 1 centre-back, and then 3 attackers. Seriously, the front 3 we have going into this season, with Lancashire just behind them, who takes over Tell on goals again. Sensational, but he didn't get as many as Dane Scarlett as we drop out the UCL places into 5th this year. Okay, more defeats, and I don't like that. I really like this though. Beating Liverpool, showing that when we do bad in one, we make up for it in another competition. However, still no FA Cup, losing to Leyton Orient, who, like I said at the start, have a link with Spurs, having 2 players from there. On loan in Keeley and Donnelly, as losing in round of 16 in the Carabao. At least it's not the Champions League, where we do want to do the best, and it's 8th this year, so automatically through to the round of 16, beating Barcelona 3-1. Then Borussia Dortmund. Sorry, but that's always a given. And sorry, but these teams, I kind of think we are favourites here, as this is the semi-final. How am I only just noticing there's 4 teams? As the finale is going to be Frankfurt against Tottenham Hotspur. Got to be careful of these. They've actually won the Europa League recently. However, shouldn't be match for us. I am going to stick with Divine and this team in general. The defence looks pretty decent, and the attack of Tell, Scarlett, and Mikey Moore should be very interesting, as I believe. Is this the kit I wore in my other video? If you want to see that, you've got to check the channel, because in a very recent video, I think I did wear this kit. If it's the green one still, these will have a good team. Diaby on the ball. Frankfurt we're facing. And I don't know what to expect. Either a good defense or good attack, as Tell is a little bit through here. Defenders near him, so he will shoot and get a fair amount of power under that, you know. As Babardi, if he could switch this out to the right-hand side, it's a very, very aggressive start, which is what we planned for as a cross. Do not let them get the first goal there, and it's luckily not handball. Harvey Elliott, the hero in France. Midweek for Liverpool as Brian Hill, that's where he's gone. Scott takes the ball away for the club he supported as a kid, I believe. Tottenham has not very many highlights of goal threat so far. Need to get the attacking play going again as Babardi. Over to Mickey Moore. He's going to try and use some skills right here. He always has a decent cross, and Alfie Divine, one of our League Two heroes, with probably the best chance of the game, as that's a good ball around the corner into him again. I'm glad I put him in the team. If he could go and score, though, a very decent run in the middle, a very good save by Truban, and Dane Scarlett, that's hit a hand. Or not, it might have gone out for a goal kick. Up to the difficulty very recently, inside of career mode, as Babardi get a pass forward, and Tell needs to run at the defender. If he can pass it back, which he does, this could be a chance just before half-time for Dane Scarlett. And that is the finish you want from this man here. In the kit I love and own. Probably should have put it on before. That is a very good finish, just underneath the goalkeeper. And just before half-time, I love it. As Babardi, can we get that out to the left-hand side? Scarlett again, come on, in the second half. Get another one straight away. Frankfurt have not been great. It's Dane Scarlett. He's gone too close. Very, very stupid extra touch. Giving away a certain goal there, and Vlahovic. Referee, is he onside there? I don't believe what's just happened. How are we now 1-1? This has been a hectic start. We should have just been 2-0 up, and we're punished. And we're 1 apiece. How was he onside, though? And we've really, really just done that to ourselves. He's off. Finally. Thank you, fourth official. Or linesman, whatever it is. It's not the fourth. The fourth does the subs, as now Alfie Divine squeeze it through the gap. We need a goal back straight away as Babardi. Come on, try and hit the hand of Schlotterbeck. Try and force a penalty or something, because that's the only way we're scoring if Dane Scarlett keeps on missing like he did early on. And Tell cuts inside Matthias Tell. Anywhere but at the keeper. The shot, that is, as Hill Where is our defence, you know, as Phillips has to come across, makes a beautiful tackle into Bell, who plays it forward into Tell. It's the Tell-Bell link up into Micky Moore, who scores very late on in the 86th minute. Maybe just stopping extra time, maybe even stopping penalties, but that is the player I wanted to score. Hyped up for Tottenham in real life, but what a ball from Bell to Tell to Moore. And will we actually get any more? No, we won't, as the referee blew the whistle straight away. A very quick progression from Spurs from bottom to top of English footballers getting. That's a big trophy with Tottenham. The team that usually don't win anything as Bell, he got the semi-assist or pre-assist, I think it's called, lifts the trophy with the armband. One of our first youth players, and then our highest hyped up one scores. The winner, as now we've done loads of top teams in England. As comment down below if I try this abroad with maybe Bayern or Barca, and also click on screen for more videos if you want to keep watching.